And it's time now for the business news with Nicholas Poynton. Nicholas, you got some breaking news for us. We love breaking news. A takeover offer for Abano Healthcare. It's been increased. So what does all that mean?
Yeah, so look, this will be welcome news for shareholders off in this dental company. They own those popular brands such as Lumino and Maven. And if you remember early in the year, this is one of those companies that had a deal on the table, but it was scuttled by the pandemic when the buyers evoked the dreaded material adverse change clause that have affected a number of companies this year. They felt like the trading conditions for the company had really changed because of the pandemic, and so they pulled that deal off the table. They did get back on the negotiating back in August. A new offer was made at $4.45 a share. How that was drastically lower than that initial offer of $5.75. Well, today we've heard maybe about less than half an hour ago that Abano has been offered now. That offer has been revised. It's been increased by about 30 cents to $4.75 per share, and that reflects some improved trading conditions for the company. It's seen its sales for the first 4 months of their financial year improved by 9%. So some good news there for some shareholders that were, really affected by the pandemic earlier this year.
And what about this lobby group for big business that has basically laid out its wish list for the election?
Yeah, you can always expect to hear a lot of these as you run up to an election. Businesses, industry groups, law firms, they've been really pumping out these press releases calling on the government to make legislative changes here, increase spending there. But we did get this report today from Business New Zealand's Major Companies Group, and in it they made some recommendations for the next government, 4 key recommendations, and I must say that none of them are really that new, but they focus in around jobs, letting skilled migrants back into the country, improving the development of infrastructure and just overall things to do with the economy. And like I said, we've heard about sort of this stuff before, but what was interesting was when I asked Kirk Hope, he's the chief executive of Business New Zealand, what the top priority it was. If you could have one of these to come to fruition, what would that be? He says it would be infrastructure. He says that the government needs to continue to develop and expand its infrastructure projects, but it can't just focus on roads and buildings. He's talking about things like social infrastructure, and one of the examples he points to is the Labour Party's recent announcement about improving rural connectivity. He says this is one of those schemes that won't just save jobs by employing people to build a network like this, but actually maybe create jobs by expanding the internet's reach in parts of the country where it hasn't been in the past. So we'll have to wait until after the election to see if this group's dreams come true.
And what were the markets looking like today?
A quick whip around the markets. NZX top 50 continues to surge. It's up by 0.2% to 12,356. That follows Chinese stocks. They've been surging at the moment. Our dollar, it's been a strong day for it once again. It's at 66.6 US cents, 92.2 Australian, and finally, we're at 51.1 British pence.
Gold for us today?
I thought, gold is up. It's down by about $2 to $1,927 US an ounce. Hasn't been too interesting recently, so I thought I'd drop it, but I'll keep it there for you.
There you go. Thanks, Nicholas. Nicholas Poynton with Business News there.